Hi everybody, welcome back to my mom's YouTube channel.
You don't talk clear. I don't think anybody hears anything she says. I don't hear anything she says. Because she goes, hello, welcome back to my mom's YouTube channel. Okay, let's get up here. We're starting the
One
video.
more time.
No.
One more time. Hello everybody, welcome back to my mom's YouTube channel.
Hi, welcome back to episode 2 of Jamie and me in the nook in her room. In her reading nook. Having conversations that she comes up with. What did you come up with today?
The pros and cons being in a wheelchair.
Oh, Jamie came up with pros and cons of me being in a wheelchair. From your perspective? Alright, let's hear this. What the pros and cons are of being in a wheelchair.
Pro, con.
You're going pro first, then con.
Pro,
alternating?
con.
Okay, let's do it.
One of the pros is that your legs don't hurt from walking too much.
So my legs don't get tired when I walk?
Yeah.
Okay. That is a pro, I think, sometimes. Especially if I see people on their feet all the time and their hips are hurting and they're really tired. So I call that a pro.
A con is that you can't reach anything high.
Yeah, I can't reach anything high. Which is super annoying. But thankfully I have 2 kids that can reach high stuff.
And I can climb up on top of things, so it's easier for me.
You don't ever climb up on top of stuff at the grocery store, do you?
I can't.
She does.
Only when she tells me to.
Only when I tell her to. And I'm like, just climb the shelves. And she's like, I don't think I can. It won't hold me. I'm like, it'll hold you. Just do it. Okay, what's your number 2 pro?
Another pro is that I get to zoom around on my mom.
Yeah, she does get to zoom around on me. Still, which is starting to get to the end of that stage because her head is getting higher than my head when she's sitting on me, which is a recipe for disaster. So, yeah. Is this recording?
Yeah.
Okay, it's recording. I just wanted to make sure, because that would be awful if we did the whole conversation and it wasn't recording. Okay, you do get to zoom around on me, and it's a little sad that that stage is coming to an end for both of my children.
She's happy. I'm not though.
I'm not happy.
Yeah,
Although,
you are.
No, I'm not. Sometimes I get a little grumpy when she sits on me because I'm worried about how heavy she's getting, which she's still really light. She's only like 50 pounds. But that's a lot of weight on my legs. So I always make sure she gently sits on my lap and make sure she's not on my knees or something that's hanging over the edge of my cushion, just so that the pressure is on my cushion. Things you have to think about as a mom in a wheelchair with tiny little legs. Okay, what's your second con?
The second con is that you can barely do anything fun. You can't skate, you can swim, but not that.
Sort of.
Yeah, and you can't go on water slides.
No.
Well, you probably could if Daddy was with you. But
Yeah, I probably could if somebody carried me. I don't know whether that would be that much
you can't
fun.
go on trampoline parks.
Well, how does that make you feel?
Annoyed.
Does it make you
Because
annoyed?
Mom would be the one that would play with me second most, because Jacob would probably play with me first.
Yeah, Jacob would play with you first.
Daddy's the last one that would want to play with me.
Yeah, it does suck that I can't do that. And as a mom, that's one of the things that hurts my heart the most. Because I want you guys to have so much fun, even though I can't do those things. And I like to watch you do them and have all the fun in the world. Yeah, but that is a con. It sucks. It sucks that I can't do the fun things that you can do like that. What's a pro?
Your legs don't get cold in the winter.
Well, my legs do get cold in the winter.
But you don't feel it.
Yeah, I don't feel it. So sometimes my legs get ice cold and then I don't even know until I go to bed and then I'm like...
And then I'm like,
Ah!
Your legs are so cold.
My legs are freezing!
They're not cold.
They're not cold right now. Okay, what's the next con?
It's hard to hug people, kind of, because then she loses her balance and then I almost fall over.
Yeah, it is kind of hard to hug people. And people in wheelchairs have this side hug thing going on that's it's like the awkward hug.
this.
It's like the awkward hug.
It's
That, like, if you don't know somebody very well, you're like, good hug. And it's a weird hug, but I'm used to it, and that's one thing that I would do if I had like a fairy godmother that gave me like 24 hours to walk. I would hug everybody that I loved. I would hug them so tight, standing up, and it's totally.
And I'd make her go on trampoline bars.
Yeah. Jamie would run me ragged if I had a fairy godmother and I had 24 hours. I wouldn't sleep, that's for sure. But it's totally underrated. How more of your body than like your shoulders can touch. I wouldn't even care if it's awkward and my boobs were touching my dad's chest. I would take it. I would hug him that close. It's something that I miss, being able to hug people really close. That's a con for sure. Kate, what's your next pro?
And the pro is that you can't feel sunburns, and you're lucky for that because they hurt a lot.
Yeah,
in your legs.
Yeah, I can't feel sunburns, which is awesome.
And because in one time in Mexico, I burned sunburned my whole entire leg almost. Remember right here, I was burned.
Yeah.
And it hurt so bad.
And that was my fault because I'm the mom that doesn't sunscreen my kids well enough. So now whenever they go to Mexico, they have like full suits, like full swimsuits, because I'm like, I can't remember to put sunscreen on you 12 times a day.
I was in the pool the whole entire time.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. She was really little and she got a bad sunburn and it was like super painful and I felt so bad. So that's a plus for me. And then my dad got like a terrible sunburn last time we were in Mexico too, and he had to like stay in the hotel room for like an entire day because he couldn't even go outside. Like the heat was like sizzling his skin, even if it wasn't even in the sun. It was just like any heat at all, even if it was in the shade. It was like, it was terrible. So I'm glad I can't feel that.
The next con is that she can't go up steep hills, and then when we have a lake lot, and then there's this trail, and she was so scared because of the steep hill.
Yeah, steep hills are like my nemesis, and because punch the steep hill. Yeah. I was a pretty big whiner. I can link to that video if you want to see my it was a terrible attempt at the trails that were really steep. But in all fairness, my husband went with the kids. Joe went with the kids before in the morning to check the trails out, and then he was like, "Oh, they're fine." I'm like, "Okay, do you not know?"
We didn't go that far into the
Oh, okay. Well, now the truth comes out. He didn't actually check all the trails. Typical man. Okay, well, now I know why it was treacherous and he didn't know. I'm going to apply for a grant for a bowhead mountain bike, adaptive mountain bike, because those ones would be able to do the trails and I wouldn't be as scared because I would be not in my wheelchair. I do not believe this. You don't believe it?
Nope.
Okay. What's the next pro?
That you're way faster than me in the mall, and you go zoom, and then my legs hurt from that because I have to run the whole time.
I am so much faster than people in like a flat ground kind of a situation, like at a mall. Yeah. And it's actually super annoying to have to wait for people, and I have to constantly remind myself that they can't go that fast. I don't do it with my kids though. I literally make them run, especially if I have to go to the bathroom or something. I'm like, I gotta pee. Go, hurry.
And then my legs hurt a lot, and then I'm just laying on the ground.
Yeah. Okay, last con.
You're horrible at hide and seek.
Oh, I'm so horrible at hide and seek. There's like 4 places that I can hide, and it gets like kids know right away. Like, where can my mom fit? So it was like, other than when my kids in the pantry, yeah. Other than when my kids were like 2 and they like weren't that aware yet, then I was still like the master.
Weren't smart.
Yeah, weren't smart. Didn't have the wherewithal to know that mom can only fit in 4 places. Like a goldfish that just forgets every 2 seconds. That's what a 2-year-old is like playing hide and seek. And it was awesome then, but now it's not awesome. So we just don't play that game anymore, do we, Jane?
Nope.
No,
I play with my friends and Jacob, but not with Mom.
Not with me. Every once in a while I'll hide when they're like coming home from school and then scare them or something, but that's
Daddy's better at that, and he definitely makes me almost hit my head on the floor because he's terrifying.
Yeah, I know. I get scared when Daddy just is like standing there not even meaning to scare me.
I know. My dad, he always hides behind like the stairs, and then I don't notice. He's like, roar, and I'm like, ah!
Yeah. He's a good scarer. And
I'm
then
like... he either hides in the bathroom, downstairs somewhere, or on the stairs. And for some reason, I still get scared because he does it a million times and I still get scared.
I know. I still get scared when somebody literally, like, if somebody walks in the room and I'm, like, on my computer, I'm like, ah! What are you doing? Why are you scaring me? Like, oh, I'm sorry I share the space with you and I was just walking around.
My friend, like, every time I'm just looking at her right there and I go, ugh, and she's like, ugh.
Yeah. Some people are just, you know what I think? We're like, we would be the people that if we were cavemen, no lion would ever sneak up on us and eat our head. We would wake up when that lion was like creeping by and we would have time to get away. So I feel like...
Or we would scream so loud that the lion would be like, hey, geez, now I don't want to eat you. You're too loud.
Yeah, exactly. Or I would just talk. I would start talking about things and then he would get bored.
Annoyed. He would be like, okay, shut up.
My husband has got the smile and nod down pat.
Yeah, he's on his headphones and then you can't see it. And then he doesn't listen and he's watching
things. He probably is.
And he's listening things and then he's like, yeah. And then he's listening to something else.
That is Daddy, for sure. I'll talk about nutrition stuff.
And he's looking at her, but he's listening to something on his headphones. Maybe music in his boat. And so he's like, I don't know what you're saying.
Is that why he got the earbuds that are like hidden?
Do you remember when that one time he took it out? He's like, what were you saying? And then you're like, oh, whatever.
It's okay. I'm used to being ignored. At least he smiles and nods now, because before he would just straight up ignore me, which sounds a lot meaner than it is. But it's not really that mean because I don't remember anything he ever tells me because I'm not listening to anything he says either. We have certain things in common. We'll listen to each other, but mostly we're just supportive and act like we actually care what each other's saying, but we don't. Yeah. Anyway, okay. Are those all your pros and cons?
Yeah.
All of Jamie's pros and cons about being in a wheelchair, and I think they were very
accurate.
Very accurate.
And cool.
Very accurate, amazing.
And cool.
She doesn't have any. Cool. She doesn't have any problem with confidence. She's still at that stage where you're going like, oh, you look so good in that, and she's like, I know.
I know.
You're like, okay. The response is thank you.
Don't exist in me.
No. That's okay. Keep that confidence. I hope she keeps it forever. I hope you keep it forever. Okay. Well, did you guys like this episode of me and Jamie in her little nook? Because if you do, then we'll keep them coming. And I'll make her think of content ideas. And it's so much nicer for me.
And so much harder for me.
Yeah, so much harder for her.
I thought it was just like, bing, bang, boom, here you go.
That's what you thought it was like planning YouTube?
Yeah, just like, oh, we can talk about the color red.
We probably could talk about the color red. Okay. That's all we got for you today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, leave us a comment. You can leave comments for Jamie too. That would be nice. If you have something to say to her, I'll show her the comments. But yeah, that's it for today, guys. Until next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. We'll see you when we see ya.